Welcome to today's session. Christopher, thanks. Good to see you back again. You may have seen the recap. I ended up making I made $500 on the Apex yesterday. The issue that I have now is that I can only make 450 USD per trading day. So $55 of that won't be counted towards the total target. So now my total target sits at $26,505.80. Add $50. So could make a little bit extra because I made too much yesterday, but only slightly. So hit the target. I think in the shorts, before you come into the live session, it does actually show you what happened. So I think that kind of covers what goes on. Now, we've got an interesting situation. Obviously, I talk about, predominantly trying to go long all the time. We're heading up towards the R3. Now, we're already turning down, unfortunately, but if we can get a nice rejection off that R3, it may be suitable for people to start to look for shorting opportunities. And we can see here in the pre-market, it's kind of already responding to that. So hopefully we do get a pull up to the R3, perhaps even a little bit further, and then some indication on the order flow that we're going to get an excellent entry. So we'll just have to wait and see. I don't like to trade, as I mentioned often in the pre-market. We've still got 8 minutes until the market opens. The reason I don't like to trade before the market opens is because that extra volatility, that irrational response at the open, can often send the market into the wrong direction. It can do things to the market that you wouldn't expect. So I find it better to stay out. I do miss quite a few opportunities, but at the same time, I do avoid some pain along the way because of that. So that's just a little note there. That's why I stay out of the market unless it's a really, really strong setup. I'm super confident that it's going to go in my favor. Then I might take a pre-market trade, but the majority of the time I'm looking for the in-market movement, particularly around the first 2 minutes of open, depending on the volatility, of course, but that first 2 minutes of market open, if we get a really nice spike, followed by really solid pivot point interaction, and the order flow all shows to be indicating that we're going to do the trade that we're looking for, that first 2 minutes is really critical. But that's why I do these sessions at the open, and that's why I kind of run these sessions. I do a bit of a pre-market analysis. This is what we're looking for. So for example, in this situation, if we get a really nice spike up to the R3 at the open, and then followed by a downward move towards the previous day's high, which is an extreme gap, and then hopefully at the open we'll get some nice volatility to take us into the trade. So whether we just power down and we head towards these gaps right here, or we spike up to that R3. Now, on the flip side, the market can always ignore these levels. It doesn't have to respect what we think should happen. The market can simply bypass it, continue higher, and ignore everything that's in its way, making our analysis just null and void. So we do have to be aware of the nature of the DAX. It is a bias long product, and often the market can just disrespect all levels and all logic. So just be aware, be ready. Don't sort of risk more than you should on any one trade. Now, what should happen from an analytical and market knowledge perspective, we shouldn't go further than the R3 without seeing some pullbacks, and we ultimately should come down and hit this previous day's high at the very least. We filled the gaps yesterday, but I'll just pull this out a little bit further. We haven't filled these gaps down here, so we've still got an unfilled close gap from a couple of days ago. We've still got the previous day's high, which I imagine is unfilled. We got close, but we didn't quite hit it in market. So 2 unfilled gaps down south. The market is moving short. So let's have a look at the previous day's high. Now on the monthly, look at this. We've had a move outside of the norm for the opens and closes. We're still in the high range when we think of wicks, but we're actually outside of the closed high. So that leads me to think that we're probably going to come down back inside this activity at some point. It may not be today, but I'd imagine during this month, over the next 20 days, we should pull back into this area based on what's happened the last 6 months. It's been a very strange year for trading this DAX. I've never really seen this activity before on a monthly chart. So on the weekly, coming up to the high area or the high end of the weekly closes and highs as well. And then on the daily, look, we've reached that mid band. We're kind of at the highs now until you go back a bit further. So all in all, look, everything's pointing to a down day for me. The 4-hour Bollinger Band, we're getting close to the high, but we're not above it. So yeah, look, I'm quite bearish on today's session. I know I always say, look, only look for the buys, but situations like this where the market is pointing down on so many levels, it's very hard to ignore that. But at the same time, over and over, I have seen this market just ignore everything, all logic, and continue higher. So just be ready for that. But I may, based on the analysis here, I may look for short positions today for all those reasons that I've just mentioned. So Christopher, in fact, a good strategy is trading against the last moment move of pre-market when market opens. Yeah, you're probably right there. So like, do you mean, for example, we're heading down now, if we buy at the open to sort of take it back the other way, and then obviously look for your actual trade based on the analysis, just confirming that logic, because that actually quite, it makes sense, because ultimately this is probably going to push the opposite direction. It's not just going to give the whole market a very clean trade. You're absolutely right. So, and I do expect that, if we do go straight down, often there's a lot of traders getting into the market and they're just really happy with the way it goes. Such a rarity. So you'll get a lot of people going short right now. And I would imagine that the market's not going to let them have just this easy run today. But, and then sometimes it does throw traders who have seen it all. They're waiting for that pullback because it can't be that easy. And then sometimes it does work. And it's quite frustrating to see that when you know all too well that basically the market should pull back, wipe some of those weak hands out first before heading towards the target. On the odd occasion you do see it work where it just goes direct to target. It's a little bit frustrating because often I miss that move, but at the same time, I end up doing a lot better because I don't get wiped out on those weak hand move push outs. So for example, if this market pushes up in the next 20 seconds, 15 till open, so you just get ready. If the market pushes up to just slightly above this high, then it'll wipe out any weak hands that have a stop to break even, which is very common. Quick note, 4 seconds to go, quantity set to 1. Always make sure your quantity is there, and I'll be quick trading today. So just like yesterday, I made about $500 yesterday. Here we go, here's that push up. Bit more momentum would be ideal. Maybe it's going to soak more people in and hopefully come back up. Otherwise, it's giving everyone a nice clean run to that previous day's high or some other target. But often the market isn't made that easy. So we're waiting for that pullback. And sometimes you do miss it because of that. So take note. Could just be one of those days where it's nice and easy for traders that are, I guess, a bit perhaps naive, or maybe they know what's going on. We've got a big order flow down here, 25 contracts. We've hit the mid-band line. Hopefully this is where we come back and take all those weak hands out. This is just what I'm hoping for because I've missed the move, of course. And it looks like a lot of buying to me, but I could be wrong. It's just watching the market right now and just seeing what actually happens. If we don't get a green candle here, then it's a very easy day for traders that I guess aren't concerned about that pullback. 74 contracts there, that's got to be something. Somebody's moving that market. It bounces quite heavily back off that. So really we should see a nice push up and wipe some of this pre-market activity out, allowing other traders to get back in. On the flip side, it could be a sell limit perhaps, but I don't think so. The market, if that was a sell limit, really it should have pushed through and kept going, especially at 74 contracts, really thin volume. So it's good to see this market kind of pulling back the other way now. I'm not sure if it's going to get all the way up to this the R3, but we're going to watch and wait and see what happens. I'm going to try and be very quick off the mark here if I see the opportunity, but we might have to wait for a little bit for the market to get into a better position. So when I'm talking about a better position, I'm talking about risk reward. Getting in here, we're 50-50 away from either level. Could go either way. Without order flow telling us a particular direction, then I'm not sure on the direction. So for me, it's better to sit, wait, let the price move into a better position, and then that way I can take a little bit more risk when it's crunch time. When I see the indicators, and what I mean by indicators, not actually like a Bollinger Band or a moving average, it's the indicators from the order flow where real people are buying or selling in big volumes. So that's an indication to me that the market's now moving. So we may have some aggressive selling coming in here. So people are hitting the market on the bid side to push that price down. So maybe that is the move. I'd be very tempted to maybe get short, but I think we've got a little bit more steam in the market. I do hope that it continues going a little higher, shake out some more of those weak hands before we start moving into the other direction. We've hit that bottom level there, so we may start to come back down. We're in that first candle, so it's wiped out any 3-minute traders and some. But you've still got all these traders from 15 minutes ago that are still hanging out, taking this easy ride, and I don't think the market usually likes to do that. We've got 42 contracts down here. That looks like selling to me. I will be tempted to start looking for short positions, but I'm just still watching what the market's doing right now. So I'm just hanging in there. Look, thin volume. If we see a big ask side order, like a really big ask side order, indicating a sell limit, followed by bid side aggressive selling. Look, I think that's maybe it. I've hit the button just for one contract. I might try and get out. I thought it was going down, but I think I might have been faked out a little there. Thank you to all you guys who have come and checked this out as well. Had a really good day yesterday. We'll see if we can replicate that. That's 50 contracts on the sell limit appearance. So 50 contracts. We've got a lot of aggressive selling coming in here. Look, I don't think this has too much more in the way of upside, but we could still want to come up and shake out all these weak hands up here potentially. But 50 contracts. Look, I'm gonna sit here and have a go. If it starts kind of going the other way, I'll jump out. But at the moment, I'm okay. Just hanging in there. I've got one contract in on the minis. If you do find this helpful as well or interesting, I'd love to see you guys like the video. It just lets me know that I'm producing content that at least entertains you or gives you some insight. It is all free. A lot of traders that I guess know as much as I do, they'll be charging a lot of money, and they don't get it right like all the time either. You know, it's just the nature of trading. It's all about managing your risk and trying to make the best decision you can. Look, this might be building here, so I'm tempted to probably just exit for a slight loss. 10 contracts. Look, I might just jump out here. I've exited because I think we might be going a little bit higher. We've really had a nice bounce or a rejection off that mid Bollinger Band line. I'm down $45, and that's okay. It's just about hanging in there. I don't want to ride this all the way up to that R3 if it does go that far. And then I'm hoping that we'll see a proper indication from a large ask side order after some thin volume to let us know that we're going down. On the flip side, the market may just fall away, and slight loss, that's okay. We can deal with it, and hopefully another opportunity will present itself through the trading session. So for now, I'm just waiting. Just waiting for the market to present some sort of an opportunity. 20 contracts. Look, is that a sell limit? I'm not sure. Or is that aggressive buying? It could be buyers saying, right, I want to come up and soak all this volume up here before we take it short. Or it could be a limit seller. The market's moving down a little. But it's not huge. It's not this 50 contracts over here. Also, the direction and where it sits, I probably would have rather see that up top, so up a little bit higher. But this 50 contracts, it's very close to that price. Just trying to figure out what that volume means. So we've taken a little hit during this session, $45. Yesterday we made 500, so we're only down a little bit. Is this where it starts to turn? Here we go, push up, push up. If we can get a nice strong push up, some thin volume followed by a big ask order, that will be a much better indication that something's happening. So really at the moment it's just about patience, waiting for that setup to appear. That indication for me was the 50 contracts on the sell side, on the ask limit order potentially. I thought that was the case, but the market hasn't really respected it. So it's kind of buyers and sellers are just battling it out for the moment. Maybe some aggressive selling coming in here. Just trying to figure out what every market participant is thinking based on the bid and ask side orders that are coming through. It's very middle of nowhere for the 5 to 10 minute candle. Very limited motion. And that's not what we like to see. We want to see impulsive moves to push the market where it shouldn't be so that we can get in and move it back to where it should be. That's the whole basis for traders, is we're looking for that opportunity to rebalance the market. But if it's balanced, it's kind of center. It's where everyone's been happy trading. And you can tell by the volume profile on the side here that the market's fairly happy trading in this zone, which doesn't present a good opportunity for traders to move it to another position because the market's happy here. Got a new candle, so that's the 10-minute mark. The market seems to just kind of been grinding up slowly. We need an impulsive move. We're getting a bit more motion here. That's good. That's good. If we can get a really big push up, a big ask order to indicate that sell it. 30 contracts there. Look, I've hit sell for one contract because that might be an aggressive seller saying, right, let's turn around here. Also down on the mini contracts, we've got the ask side order as well. So we'll see if we can get that motion. Now I've started actually using the buy and sell and exit buttons. I had been trading on this depth of market, but sometimes I'd miss the order. I think when I see this volume appear, the market often reacts very quickly, so I'd rather just get in and not mess around and not miss these opportunities where the volume spikes really quickly and all of a sudden the market's moving in your favor and it's too late. So I'm just using the market orders now, even though you do lose a few pips. I think it's okay because if you've got a proper move on your hands, then you should be okay. Now, I'm questioning because we've got some volume here. We've got thin volume followed by a bit of activity up top. Taken out most of the stops, I think. So it'll be interesting to see if we do go higher, perhaps have a reaction off the R3. And beyond that R3, I don't know what's going on. So basically, if we don't turn around here, I'm hoping that we turn around at the R3. If we don't turn around at the R3 either, then I'll be probably looking to just jump out, take the hit. Had a good trading day yesterday, but it's okay to have a loss and move on and wait for a better trading session. Sometimes the market itself, the overall, I guess, perception and the way it moves just doesn't resonate with how you trade every single day. So sometimes it's better just to say, right, I'm not reading it, come back later. Little spike up there, but nothing to indicate that we're actually going to turn around just yet. So it's thin volume, but the market seems quite happy trading from this spot here. It's some aggressive selling, I believe. So let's hope that's enough to push that market down. Look, am I tempted to add more volume? So target, let's say the target will be 24291. 24291. That'll be $240. It's not quite enough to hit that max that max 30% rule for Apex Trader funding. So I'm going to look to maybe add another contract. I'm going to hit it again. So I've just sold, so I'm in for 2 mini DAX contracts. See if I can hold. If it does go up higher and it goes beyond this DAX, I'm just going to get out because I don't know anything above this R3. I don't know what's going on, and I know that. So that's where I'll probably call it. Now, if I see an indication that I should probably get out of this trade because it's starting to look bullish, I'll just hit the exit at market and cancel. Very close to break even now, which is okay. If we can have a nice push down, we just hit that upper Bollinger Band on the 5 minute. If we can really push down and start to, well, I've only got to get to this price here. So anything beyond that price, I'm not too worried because I'm in for 2 contracts. That's the maximum I can take in terms of a profit to be counted towards the target for Apex Trader funding. So I'm just going to see what happens here. Look, it's moving fairly slowly. I'm tempted to just take the money. It's moved already. It didn't really have that reaction to go bearish, and obviously I've got a bit of a concern around going short on the DAX. It's not always a wise decision. So we'll see if the market starts to respect the high levels that we're already at. That previous day's close, previous day's high as well, so the extreme gap, forming quite a strong target. But perhaps we may not hit it, we may not respect any of these pivot points, and we may push right through. So just got to watch for that that kind of buying activity where the market's just not respecting anything. That's 14 contracts. I believe that's probably aggressive selling. I'm hoping. It Could be a buy limit, of course, which would send the market up, but I'm hoping that the market's going to say, right, this is, we've clipped these stops from all these traders, now we can actually go towards that previous day's high, but we're making some motion up higher. We need a big ask side order to indicate a massive sell limit, so somebody who's got a bit of power in the market to then push that market lower. If you're enjoying the session, guys, okay, 10 contracts is probably not enough. We've gone through it. We need a bit bigger of an order, I think. I don't think that's big enough. But if you're enjoying the session or you're getting something out of it, please do like the video. It does help me sort of know what's good, what's bad. I go back and sometimes review these videos and see what I've done. So if you do like the session, just give it a like to let me know that it's okay. 10 contracts, 14 contracts. Look, it's like the market does want to sell from this point, but it's just not getting that momentum. So really just hang in there to see if we can get a better entry. I might add a couple. I've got 2 more contracts that I can add to this market. I've got a $1,500 max drawdown, and basically my goal for this Apex challenge is to try and make 30% to target each day, thereabouts, until I get a bit closer to target. I'll probably take it a little bit easier to just get over that line, but the first couple of days I kind of want to just give it a good crack. See if we come up and tap this R3. It'd be a perfect kind of layout. I'm just going to quickly go and check the UK 100 as well, see what it's doing. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, so no real guidance. We're up above the Bollinger Band. Check the US. Very sort of nothing. 24 contracts, but it's kind of down here, so it's not right up top. So I'm not sure. 30 contracts. Look, I think the market's trying to sell. If we do spike above this R3, I'm just going to have to take the hit, come back in tomorrow, because often it doesn't respect these levels. But if it does, we'll be in a very good position. Just note, so when you're trading the DAX, you're trading on the euro currency, but then down here in your P&L, it's a little bit different because of the currency conversion. Approaching the R3 now, just waiting for the market to go up and tap it, ideally. Entry isn't too far away. If I can get another couple of contracts, hopefully that will pull my break even up a little bit higher, so that way I don't have to go all the way to the original target that I suggested down here. But if we don't get that further indication when we tap it and we start heading down, I'm just going to have to wait it out. It's really close now. We've just made contact with the R3. Really need some selling activity. I'm going to hit sell for another contract. Some aggressive selling coming in now by the looks. 12 contracts, I'm hoping. I've got 4 okay. So I sold 2 more contracts. See the quantity, it stitches me up here and there. Now, because I had 2, it added 2 more contracts. So anyway, that's all right. That's kind of what I wanted to do anyway. Break even is now only sort of 13, 14 points away. I've just got to have my finger on the trigger ready to close this trade if it starts shooting off. So it's either going to go down towards the high, or I think we're going to break through and just ignore all the levels and have another one of those classic DAX days where it's just buy, buy, buy. So let's hope we can get a bit of a turnaround here. fairly soon. Otherwise, I think the market will be on the fritz and we'll have another probably, just a massive buy up for no reason. It's really, really teetering on this level, and I hope we get that reaction, because if not, I've got to get out quickly. It's just hanging in there. Look, the order flow isn't really indicating that there's any massive sellers going on. It's like the market's kind of hanging out, waiting to see what happens. We're not getting that response that that I was hoping for. It's really quite testing. If we continue higher, I'm just going to have to jump straight out. Okay, it's moving up. There's the big, so 98 contracts, potential aggressive sell, or it's going to be a limit buy for the breakout. So see what that 98 contracts do. I'll hold it for a little bit longer, but 98 with thin volume, something's happening here. So whether it's a big player is saying, right, 74. Okay, the market's really hammering now. So I think, potentially that could be limit buy orders. But I'm hoping it's aggressive sellers just really hitting the market. But because we didn't bounce off it, I'm not confident this is going down at all. So no reaction off that 74 and 99 just yet. Got limit sells coming in by the looks, 20 limit sells or aggressive buying. Just trying to get a read on what the market's thinking, because we've broken that R3 now. Really need to see some selling coming in. Otherwise, this market's just going to ignore everything and continue up. So it's a really tough position from this point. And the amount of times that I've hit, exit and reverse, and then at that exact moment the market turns around. It's happened too many times. Okay. This market is just really ignoring everything. So we're outside on the one hour Bollinger Band as well. Outside on everything up to the 4 hour. We're not outside on the 4 hour, but yeah, it's really aggressive buying here. Hopefully this is a big ask limit and it won't get past, but it's broken through already. So there's a good chance this market will just blindly rally for the day. I'm hanging in there though. $33 contracts, that's good. That's a good sign. We've had thin volume. 33 potential ask limit side, so selling. what I'm hoping for anyway. On the flip side, it could be aggressive buying, so you just got to watch for that. But now, from this point, need a really big move just to get to break even. So we'll see if the market respects these levels, respects these this ask limit, and pulls back. Very, very bullish trading here. So we've seen this quite a few times actually. So we run into the mid Bollinger Band line. We don't quite get to any levels or targets, and then the market just buys for the rest of the day. So I'm really, I guess, I've seen this before, and kind of just stuck watching it now. Like on the flip side, it's really tempting to just reverse the order and just ride this blind bullish nature out. But look, I'm going to do it. I've just reversed the order. I'm sure the market will probably realize that, and we'll just start heading down. But on the basis of what I've seen previously, time and time again, when we get this kind of activity, the market just blindly goes up. It doesn't have much of a pullback at all. So I've reversed that short position into a buy position, so I've closed for about $1,000 loss. I'm sure it'll probably just pull back and wipe this account. Yep. Okay. So of course, once it all gets too much, I reverse the order, it starts moving down. We'll see how far it goes. So yeah, I'm out from here. Look, the market, based on all this analysis, it really should come down and head towards this previous day's high. But we've skipped through the 99, we skipped through the 75 aggressive selling, came all the way up, we kind of pushed through once again, hit reverse and cancel, and it was too much for the account to handle. So now we're finally respecting the ask limit side and moving down. So we'll just see. I'm probably going to pack it up there, but basically what I'm expecting is potentially the market might come down a little bit, but then it's just been a lot of buying coming in, so I'd be very scared to get short after that blind bullish movement. We haven't really respected the level. Look, if you had a 40-point stop from the R3, you'd probably still just be in. The spread might have clipped you out. So it'd be interesting to see if this market does come back down, or if it just continues to go bullish. Anyway, that's it from me. We'll see how you guys go, and be interesting to see where this market goes today. Have a good one, guys. Best of luck.